This video is about Chapter 6, and it's a lesson on solving systems in the real world. Our objective is, I will solve real-world problems using systems of equations. Okay, and our essential question is, how do you know which method to use when solving systems of equations? All right, example number 1. Two runways at an airport, runway A and runway B, have a combined length of 20,500 feet. The difference of their lengths is 5,500 feet. What is the length of each runway? Okay, the first thing we want to figure out is, what is our variable here? What are the variables going to be? And you always want to look at probably the last sentence in the real world situation, and it's asking you for the length of each runway. All right, so we have to figure out, well, what are the runways? Well, we have runway A and runway B. So we don't know their lengths. So let's make the variable is A is going to be the length of runway A. And then we'll say B, because that's the other runway, is going to represent the length of runway B. Okay, so now that we determine what our variables are based on what they're asking for, the length of each runway, we don't know that, so those have to be our variables. We have to figure that out. Let's reread the couple of sentences that tell you about the runways. All right, so it says the two runways at the airport, runway A and runway B, have a combined length of 20,500 feet. That word combined is very important. If you combine something, that means you are adding. So the operation here is adding. Meaning if you take runway A and runway B, combined, meaning when you add them, their length is 20,500 feet. So we could write an equation for this sentence right here. Runway A, which we represented as the variable A, plus runway B, which we said is labeled as B, equals 20,500. That's our first equation in our system of equations. Again, you took runway A and runway B have a combined means to add, length of 20,500 feet. So it's A plus B equals 20,500. Let's look at our second sentence. The difference of their lengths is 5,500 feet. Here's the key word here, difference. We know means to subtract. Okay, so the difference of their lengths is 5,500 feet, meaning when you take A minus B, because we're talking about the difference subtracting, if you take their lengths and you do runway A minus runway B, it equals, they told us, the difference is 5,500. Okay. So we just set up our system of equations. Now we want to think about the essential question, how do you know which method to use? Well, we know we're not going to graph these equations because they're not in y equals mx plus b form, and we know we're not going to use substitution to solve the system because we don't have an isolated variable. Both of the variables are on the left side of the equations. So we're either going to use addition or subtraction. Okay, and here we could actually use either addition or subtraction because we have two terms that are the same. They both have an A, and then we have additive inverses, opposite terms. positive b and negative b. So you could actually use addition or subtraction here. I'm going to use addition because addition is easier for me. All right, remember, if you have opposite terms, a positive b and a negative b, if you have additive inverses, then you can add these equations. Okay, because remember, the whole point in solving a system of equations is you want to solve for one variable at a time. So if we add these equations, the b's are going to cancel out at first. We have a positive b plus a negative b. They cancel out. So we're left with a plus a, which is 2a. The b's cancel out. That's what we wanted. Equals, and then, right, we drop down the equal sign, and then let's add our numbers. Well, 20,500 plus 5,500 is 26,000. All right, then let me divide both sides by 2 to get a by itself, and we have a equals 13,000. Well, what did we just figure out? A is 13,000. Let's go back up to where our variable means. A means the length of runway A. So we just figured out that runway A is 13,000 feet long. Okay, but we're not finished the problem because they're asking us what is the length of each runway. We still have to figure out what B is, runway B. So to do that, let's plug it back in to one of our equations. I'm going to use the one that has the addition sign. You could plug it into either equation. You get the same answer. So I'm going to recopy my first equation, and we know that A, we just figured out, is 13,000. So I'm going to plug in 13,000 for A, and then solve for B. So we have 13,000 plus B equals 20,500. All right, subtract 13,000 from both sides. They cancel out, and you're left with B equals all right, we're going to have to borrow here. 7,000